We're going to get some pro-Palestine dummies grilled today. I am Tall, your favorite sweet Zionist prince, white colonizer. Let's take a look at this clip.
At Hunter, Jewish students were forced to enter the main university building under a swastika for hours. Is that correct?
My understanding of that is that the swastika was placed outside, and we have a custom of erasing all such deplorable symbols. In that particular case, there was a delay because it had to be referred to the NYPD for the anti-hate investigation.
Let me remind you of this particular case because that's not according to your own staff. In fact, the Hunter College Director of Jewish Studies emailed university leadership requesting that the swastika be taken down. And instead, this was the response for everyone to see. Apologies, but it is not that simple. Is that the position of CUNY?
It is entirely unacceptable that.
And was this administrator disciplined who emailed?
Again, in that particular case, we were working with the New
No,
York City Police
was this
Department.
administrator disciplined for sending this response?
Any case that we have will investigate, and the appropriate action will be taken.
So what was the appropriate action taken against this administrator in this case?
In this case, as I mentioned to you, we are working with the New York City Police Department.
So no disciplinary action has been taken by CUNY? Is that correct?
Again, we will investigate any action.
So an investigation, but no actual action, like so many of these failed university presidents. But it's not just this case. You talked about how you focused on this since 2019. But let me remind you, in 2021, you hired Abdi Allah as CUNY's Chief Diversity Officer, and this role includes overseeing anti-Semitism complaints and initiatives. Were you aware at that time that this senior administrator you hired was previously employed by CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations?
Gentlelady will suspend.
My time, can you hold the time? It was 2:25.
We'll hold the time.
Does the committee have a policy on publicizing people's personal emails?
This is a university administrator's email.
Email addresses?
No, we don't have a policy, I'm told, on that. And again, this is at the university.
This is a university email, a public university in the state of New York. Following up at 2:25, which my time is, I'm referencing the CUNY Chief Diversity Officer, who you hired in 2021. They were previously employed by CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations. Is that correct?
Yep.
So she was hired to be the Chief Diversity Officer at the central office with no responsibility over cases that have to deal with students or faculty.
But yet you were aware that she was previously employed by CARE.
Again, I was not directly responsible for that.
Even though she was the Senior Chief Diversity Officer?
As I mentioned to you, I was not directly responsible for that hire.
So is it okay, from your perspective, obviously it is, to have a former employee of CARE? Let me remind you, CARE was a co-conspirator in a terrorist financing case and has ties to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. Is she currently still employed by CUNY?
She is.
There you go. So no action, just words here today. Even further, and by the way, her salary is paid for by the New York taxpayers, correct?
We have the expectations of total professionalism and compliance with all the rules and policies of CUNY. Any employee that breaks our policies or our rules will be investigated.
But it obviously
Action
doesn't
will be
break
taken.
CUNY's rules to have a senior employee who was previously employed by a terrorist-affiliated organization. That is unacceptable to New York taxpayers. It is unacceptable to American taxpayers. But it's not just that. Are you familiar with CUNY Clear? This is the clinical arm of CUNY School of Law.
Yeah, and the guy with the
Clear,
posters
I'm
behind
not
is great.
familiar with them.
Well, I will remind you, the CUNY Clear founder and professor is the head of Mahmoud Khalil's Legal Defense Fund. Are you aware of that?
No.
Does it concern you that New York taxpayers are paying the salary for the legal defense fund of Mahmoud Khalil? And I'll remind you who Mahmoud Khalil is. This is the chief pro-Hamas agitator that led to the anti-Semitic encampments at Columbia, the rioting and violent takeover of Hamilton Hall, the harassment and physical assault of Jewish students.
And we do not condone any kind of anti-Semitism.
But you
in our
allow
campuses.
the head of the clinical legal organization and a professor to be the chief legal aide to Mahmoud Khalil and do his legal defense fund?
Those decisions are made in the clinics, are made in the individual campuses.
It goes up to you. You are the chancellor.
Those decisions are made at
So you
the
take no
individual
responsibility.
campuses. I take responsibility for any behavior of our faculty.
So
and
is this
staff that
acceptable? Is this
anti-Semitic.
acceptable?
Any behavior that is anti-Semitic
Is
and
this
in violation
acceptable
of our
that the
rules.
legal defense fund for Mahmoud Khalil is the head of CUNY Clear? That's acceptable under your watch.
We do have no tolerance for anti-Semitism on our campuses, and we've been very
So will
clear.
this person be fired?
Anybody that breaks our rules and our policies, there'll be an investigation. We'll investigate, and if there's any disciplinary action to be taken, we'll take it.
Let me make a prediction. No disciplinary action. This individual is not going to be fired because it's all words, no action. You have failed the people of New York. You have failed Jewish students in New York State, and it is a disgrace. I yield
Thank
back.
the gentlelady.
Señor Rodríguez,
If there
¿qué tal, papi?
This person be fired.
¿Qué tal? ¿Tú tienes problema con Yehuda? Yehud? What's the problem, Señor Rodríguez? I don't understand. What is the problem? When did Latinos become anti-Semitic? When? When did this happen? I grew up in Miami. Latinos are like the least anti-Semitic human beings on planet Earth. Latinos are either extremely neutral on the Middle East, like they can't point to it on a map, or very pro-Jesus and pro-Israel by virtue. Latinos are like Israel's satellite office. South America is Israel's satellite office. It's where young Israelis go and learn about themselves, and Latinos sort of guide them along the way. They take them to their first parties and to do cocaine in the jungle. Latinos are like the guardians of the Jewish people. It's incredible the relationship we have. Have we no value for this anymore? And by the way, New York City is no exception to this rule. Latinos across the Bronx and across Brooklyn work with Jewish people on a regular basis. They're employed by each other. And not to mention that there are so many Jewish communities in South and Central America and in the Caribbean. I just don't understand where the unabashed neutrality on the matter is. You have somebody affiliated with Hamas working in your university. Hombre. Escúchame, por favor. Fire them. It's time to fire. Why are you don't... Mr. Rodriguez, I can see you in your eyes. You don't give a fuck about Palestine. I know you don't care about we can see it. We can smell it. I can hear it in your voice. You don't care about Palestine. Señor Rodriguez, I ask and I make you a plea. Fire that bitch. That's what I have to say. I love you long time. Goodbye, Señor Rodriguez. Adios, amigos. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.